Hey good people, it's your old buddy Mark from Vintage Audio Nagoya, and we're starting a big tape echo series here, and we're going to start with Kastam, or I always say Kastam. I'm from Wisconsin. It's Japanese version of Kastam. So it's basically custom, but it's just, to me, I read it as Kastam. Anyway, we're going to start a big series going through all the Kastam models that I have. I've been hoarding things here recently and not posting as many things for sale because I found myself with quite a few tape echoes, and I just kept getting some more without selling, with the hopes of putting this together for you. It's not going to be real professionally done, but we're going to go through and show you a large variety of Japanese tape echoes from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So let's get started with the Kastam lineup right over here to my right. So here we've got a pretty partial lineup of the Kastam series, and we're starting here with the SS100, which is the first one I know of. And as you can see, it's quite vintage looking. I mean, it's as far as I know, the first offering. And I'll go through each one individually a little bit and show you what we have here. But that's a tape echo using an 8-track. And then we go to the SS101, which is a complete departure in cabinet. It's a real solid metal unit with obviously different design aesthetics. And then we go into the 102, SS102, and then an SS200, which to me is a step backwards. We lose the VU meter, so I don't know if it was just a cheaper model that was offered or what the exact situation is. Now there's quite a few tape echoes that we're missing here. There's a 200, 300 series, 400, and then we get into a name change, Rexer, but still made by Kastam. And this, however, uses a free-running tape, so it's a complete departure from the 8-track based tape echoes that they've been using up to that point. So I'll come back and I'll show you the SS100 up close. Okay, here's the SS100, a little bit of a close-up. Good-looking machines, really. Pretty basic. We got a speed control, which is a segmented speed, and then repeat echo and echo volume. Decent cabinets and a nice little rear door that you can keep the tape inside of. So pretty good looking machines, and then a simple tape here. Now this machine, I have the screws out on it, so I'm going to open this up and give you an inside look at how these operate. So I've got the 4 screws removed on the bottom, and to get it out we simply pull out the back, and there'll come a point where it hits and we need to give it a little bit of a tilt in order to get that out. And let's take a look at how this functions. So what we've got is just a simple 8-track mechanism here with a record head, a play head, and a erase head. And then the speed of the tape is what alters the lengths of our echo. So let's take a look at the underside. And what we just have is a motor and a pretty big flywheel, and then that's what's going to run our tape head pinch roller of the 8-track and operate our tape. So let's get it in action. Okay, so here we are opened up, and at this point I'm talking into the microphone, and we can adjust the mic volume and etc. But the tape is not engaged. I haven't pushed it in. So as soon as you push the tape in, check, then we get echo. Now you can hear the tape motor here a lot more than you can when it's inside the box. So these are actually quite quiet. I wouldn't say quiet, but better when they're inside their Tolex cases there. Check. So that gives you an idea of how it works inside. It's quite simple. Here we're just kind of a PA, or a preamp I should say, and then we adjust our speed control. Check, check. Let's get a little more repeat on there. Check, 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 check. Now we're starting to vibe out because we don't have our rubber feet. Check, check. So the vibrations of the machine get picked up and eventually start to develop feedback. Okay, that's a look at the inside of a Kastam 100, and let's move on to the 101. Okay, so we're moving on to the SS101, And again, a big departure in style, and also it's a solid steel case. It does kind of have a, you know, other than the script, it has a bit of a Roland look to it, which was, you know, setting the world on fire with their RE series. So maybe they were going after that a little bit. Aluminum knobs, nice aluminum knobs on it. This has RCA outs. It's kind of one improvement. In addition to the 1/4 inch jack, you've got RCA outs. So that's the 101. I really like these. Still a segmented speed control, which is not my favorite. They carry that through, but I prefer a, you know, one with a sweeping motion. But let's move on to the next one. Okay, we're moving on to the SS102, and this is a major improvement over the previous two models. Now, I'm a huge fan of the SS101. They're compact and built really well, but the addition of the VU meter, this does have a sweeping speed control, which allows for so much more adjustment. And also we've got a foot switch on the front, 2 outputs, RCA ins and outs at the rears, and I think just an overall better looking design. This is truly a budget space echo, essentially. So now let's just click the mic on. Check, 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 check. We got mic and line attenuation, you know, which is an improvement over the other ones also. Check, check, check. We can go in from the PA, so we can run this into an effects send unit. And here, check. Here's our speed control. Check, 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 check. So again, we've lost that notched speed control, which I think is a great decision. Let's go on to the next one. So here we are with the SS200. And I've just come to a realization here, actually. Essentially, the 200 is the same as the 101 in just a different cabinet. So we've got the 2 volumes here, volume, speed, echo, and repeat. Speed, echo, and repeat. So it's essentially the same style as this. Now, one thing the 200 does have is a little trap door like the very first one we saw. So you can keep things inside the cabinet and put the cord away inside there and tape, etc. So I do like that about the 200. However, I've come to realize that it's essentially this machine in the newer style cabinet. And I'm not going to plug that in. It's, you know, it has the same sound essentially. So we'll move on to the Rexer, the last that I have here. Okay, finally, for the ones at my disposal is the Rexer Tape Echo RTE 3000. And again, the reason it's included in this custom group is that it was manufactured by Kastam, as you can see here, custom Kastam. And we've got a wet out, wet only on the back, which is kind of nice, and stereo outs with these. So quite a big difference from the other offerings here. But let's open this up and you can take a look inside. Plus, this is a free running tape. Okay, I'll pull this cover off. Now, it's a real thick cover, and there's a reason for that. You'll see they're quite noisy also without the covers on. Now, you notice the tape just started, and I'm going to be quiet for just a second here, let you look at this. And you'll notice that the tape just stopped on. And this is kind of a unique feature, but if it doesn't sense any input, it'll stop the tape, and as soon as you give it some input, it starts up again. So kind of a nice feature there, I guess. I just picked up a brand new tape for this in addition. So you load these tapes by unscrewing this cover on top, laying your tape in there, feeding it through, and then you make sure there's no kinks in it, put your cover back on, you're done. So this thing has a lot of different options here. Check, 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 check. And oddly, the time is slower to the right. Check. It gets faster to the left, which is opposite of almost every other. Check, 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 check. Okay, that gives you an idea how these operate. And you can take a look at the inside of that unit. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's almost new. Beautiful. Okay, people, that's going to do it for the custom lineup. Again, I always call them customs, but anyway, it's going to do it for that lineup. Now, again, there's all kinds of models between, this iteration to the final one. There's a lot that look like home stereo equipment pieces, and I'll hopefully get some of those, and we'll add a little addendum to this series if those show up. So I'm going to go through all these different styles of tape echo in the coming days and weeks, and hopefully this will act as a bit of a resource for anybody that's thinking about getting one or has one that they're not quite sure what the situation is with it. If you have any questions any time during this series and you're interested, just drop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Check out my Instagram page, Vintage Audio Nagoya, or also I have a page on Reverb where I sell a lot of stuff. Quite a few of these things you're going to be seeing are from my personal collection, but I do have things for sale from time to time, tape echoes. Okay, thanks, take care, stay safe, keep rocking.